Hello everyone, very good morning to all. Right. So as part of the CodeIgniter prerequisites, we should know first object-oriented PHP as well as MVC architecture. And let me give you some basic criteria about object-oriented PHP. At least guys, you should know, you may not be perfect with object-oriented here. You have to know at least what is a class, what is an object, what is a constructor, a destructor, how can we reuse the class logic by using constructor, right? This is what we have to know. And one more thing, object-oriented principle, that is inheritance. If you know all these concepts, coordinator is going to be very, very easy for you, right? You may know or not recording this object-oriented PHP basics. Don't worry, I'm here to give you the complete criteria regarding object-oriented PHP basics. Yes, guys, let me give you a small idea and small overview regarding this OOPHP, right? So first of all, for better understanding, not only for CodeIgniter framework, you want to learn Laravel framework, you want to learn Gen framework, whatever the framework you want to learn. First, we should know object-oriented PHP. The first thing, what is a class? So generally, we may heard about, right, in every programming language, the concept class is available, guys. Java, .NET, Python, Ruby, wherever you go, there is a concept called class. What is a class? And how can I use a class here? That's we need to check it, guys. Right. So general word, if you can go to your own language, generally go to dictionary and search about class in your own language, Telugu, Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, like this. You can go and you can understand what exactly the meaning of a class is here, right? So generally, I just want to go with a very simple manner, guys. A class is a collection of students, I can say, right? We have 10th class, ninth class, like this. We have so many so many classes are there. Each and every class is a group of students. We can categorize them, right? So 10th class is one category, ninth class is one category, 8th class is one category. All are classes only. What is a class here? If you can consider generally in normal manner, guys, I'm talking about a classroom. If you can talk about, it's a collection of, what I can say, collection of students. I want to say collection of students, and I can say chairs. No, I can also say chairs, right? Benches or chairs, whatever it may be, right? I can say something like, and others also, blackboard, whiteboard, whatever it may be, right? Fans and computers and desktops, whatever it may be, right? So can I say something like this? A normal, guys, I'm not talking in a technical manner. So later we can talk about. First, let us understand in a normal manner what is a class room, right? Generally, 10th class, ninth class. You can see 8th class, ninth class, 10th class, whatever it may be, 8th standard, whatever it may be, every class, right? The name is class. The only name is going to be changed. 8th class, ninth class, 10th class. We are adding 8th, ninth, 10th to the class. Name is same. But do you see the students and chairs and others are common? In every class, there is students, there is benches, and there is some other accessories available in the classroom. That is I mean, what it is saying that I want to tell you, it's simply grouping something, guys. It is grouping something, whatever it may be. What it is grouping, we don't know. But by grouping some other things, what these people are saying, that there is a class. What is the name of the class? How can I say the name of the class is 10th class and ninth class and 6th class? How can we give the name of the class? Based on the environment available inside the classroom. How many people are there in the classroom? 10 people, 5 people, 6 people, whatever it may be. But there is a class. There is a group of students and collection of students, chairs and others. By grouping something, we can call them it as a simply class, right? So why I mentioned something here? I don't know what is grouping. What are you going to group inside a class, right? So we don't know. That's why I'm mentioning simply something. Grouping. It's a group it together, related together. They are called something, guys. Remember carefully. Here, I'm simply saying you collection of students and chairs and others. Right. Okay. Why not? I want to go with a family. What is a family, guys? I want to talk about collection of family members. Na? So it's all about family members. They may be mother, father, children, and everything. Family members and others also. Na? A family may contain houses, may contain cars, may contain some other vehicles, right? Different things, right? Others also, I can say. Here we are grouping them and we are mentioning them as a family. So family is also a class, right? Family is also a class. In a family, father is a member, mother is a member, children and grandfathers and grandfathers are members of your family. But in a family, each and every member has a different role. No? Father have one daddy role, mother have a role, you have a role, I have a role, and our children may have some other different roles. No? Right? So there is a vehicle, right? So others means it may contain some houses, some vehicles, and everything may be come under, like grouping all together, we can call it as a family now, right? In the same manner, technically I want to come, what is a class exactly? A class is a collection of properties, we can call this word as properties, and it is going to be a methods, guys. Methods are nothing but functions. So technically we can call them, or you can call them, a class is a variables, we can call like this also, variables, and functions also we can call. Simply, guys, nothing. Property is nothing but a variable. A variable is nothing but a property. Methods or functions, both are same. Whatever it may be, guys. We can call like this, guys. Technically, I mean, normally a classroom contains students. Here also we are grouping something, no? Properties and methods. Right? Technically, if it is a class, right, what we can call class contain collection of properties and methods. By grouping them, we can call it as a class. Okay. I have a small doubt, guys. I'm saying you class is a collection of properties and methods. I have a small doubt. Can I create a class with only properties? I mean, so can you go and check this? A class can contain only properties. Can I create a class with only properties? Or can I create a class with only methods? Is it okay? Or class means it should be the combination of both. See, I created a class with the properties and methods. Here, I created a class with only methods. Here, I'm creating a class with only properties. But here, if you can see, we created a class with only properties and methods both. Remember, all are valid points in our PHP. Not only in our PHP, in every programming language, we can create a class with properties and methods. We can create a class with only methods, valid. We can create a class with only properties, that is also valid. Right? Simply said, a class. See, for example, guys, one more doubt for me. Sir, how can we give the name of a class? So, for example, I'm saying you family class. You are saying you classroom, whatever it may be, something like this, right? This is technically our class. For example, guys, I'm showing you an house. Okay, this is a house work. I'm having a house. Can I call this house as a class? I want to call this house as a class. Why? Because house is also contain collection of things now, right? So, for example, guys, one thing, tell me please. In your home, you have different rooms, right? Bedroom, hall, kitchen, washrooms, like this. We have different rooms. Can you tell me one thing? You are going to your kitchen. By seeing the kitchen, can I call the kitchen as bedroom? Is it okay? No. I went to my bedroom and I can say, is this is a kitchen? Can I call my bedroom as a kitchen? No, you cannot call it. Why you cannot call it? Why are you saying this is bedroom only? So I'm taking you to my kitchen. I'm saying you this is my bedroom. Will you believe? No. How? Why you are not believing? See, the environment of the kitchen, by seeing plates, gas cylinders, and all, by seeing all these things, what we can say, we can mentally fix it. This is a kitchen. Even if I say this is a bedroom, you can't believe. Why? Because the environment, see that the environment in the room, whatever the environment you are able to see, based on that environment, we are providing a name called kitchen. That is the name of the class. By seeing my bedroom, can I call this as a kitchen? No. By seeing the bed, the cot, and design other materials, by seeing this, I can simply say this is a bedroom class. What is a bedroom class contain? Different accessories again. Is that not right? So the name of the class, some people may have doubts, sir, how can we provide a name of the class? For example, I want to give you a class called product, guys. I'm saying you product class. I'm saying you something called employee class. How can we call employee class? Sir, why are you calling this employee class? Can I call some other thing? Why are you calling this as a product class, sir? Can I call some other thing? You may have like this different doubts. Remember carefully, employee class. I want to add an employee. I want to view an employee. I want to delete an employee. I want to update an employee. By doing all these actions, I make an employee class. See, by seeing that environment, what is this I'm doing in the employee class? I'm adding an employee, I'm adding an employee, I'm viewing all the employees, I'm deleting an employee, right? So I'm updating an employee. By seeing all these operations, what is the class I have to provide you? Employee class. This employee class involves adding, viewing, editing, and deleting. These are the operations are going to be involved inside the employee class. That's why I given the name of the class as an employee. Did you see? See, always remember the name of the class will always depends upon the environment inside of it. What are you doing? What type of actions you are performing? Right? Simply, a class is a collection of methods. Means that it is going to give you different actions, different behavior. What is a function? It will do some reusable work. Why should we create a function normally? To reuse the logic. So a class is a collection of methods. Definitely, we can reuse all the methods. See, function is individual, but a class is not, guys. Classes contain collection of functions. A class contain many functions. But if you are writing a function in one place, that function only we can use. So like this, we have to create so many functions. I want to group all the functions together into a bucket. That bucket is nothing but our class. So wherever you want, you can use that bucket. What are the functions available in that bucket? We can access those functions automatically wherever we want. This is exactly a class is, guys, actually, right? So class always give you a clear idea. So what type of name we have to provide to a class and all given by the environment. So the name of the class will always depends upon the environment of the situation. This is what about exactly a class is, guys. So see, not only in PHP, guys, you can go to any other programming language, Java, .NET, Python, Ruby, whatever it may be. Everywhere we have a concept called class. Class is the primary template of object-oriented programming language. If any object-oriented programming language, if you want to discuss, I mean Java, .NET, Python, whatever it may be, you want to learn, without the class, there is no object-oriented PHP. If there is no class, nothing. We don't want to learn inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. That's not required. If there is no class, there is no frameworks. There is no CMSs like this, guys. We have to think like this. The importance of a class. Without class, we can't do anything. So this is all about a class and what a class can contain. How can we give the name of a class? By seeing that environment available inside a class, we can define the name of a class. We can give the name of a class. For example, guys, here I'm employee adding, employee viewing, employee deleting. Can I call the class as XYZ? Is it meaningful? The class is not meaningful. What is the meaning of XYZ class? So you can't understand what is the meaning of XYZ class, some PQRS class if you are giving. What is the meaning of it by just giving the class name as PQRS XYZ? So it is not meaningful now. It should be something meaningful. I want to create a registration form. To this, what I want to do, definitely I will create a class called register class. I want to work with the login form. So I want to create a class called login class. By seeing this login class, simply we can understand. See, guys, I'm creating a login form. Can you give the class name as register for the login form class? So it is not meaningful, right? So what I want to say, what are you doing? You are doing some activity, definitely. Based on the activities, you can provide the name of the class. You are working with login, then you can do login form. You are working with registration of a user, yes, you can make a class as register. So by seeing these classes, we can easily understand what type of functionality you are going to implement inside the class. The environment is very important. The name of the class is also very important. I always believe the name of the class will always depends upon the environment of the class. What type of environment, what type of the functions you are going to implement inside a class. Based on that, we can provide the name of a class, guys. The same manner, see, this is not only in PHP, every programming language, this is the common story. Now, how can we create a class? There is a global syntax called class keyword. By using the class keyword, we can create the class name, guys. Here, name of the class could be anything. You can take any name. That's why I'm taking something like this, right? So class name, curly bracket open. So this group, so here we are, what is the curly bracket meaning? We can group something together. That's the meaning of curly brackets here, right? So it is a group of statements, but here in object-oriented PHP, this curly brackets holds a group of methods and a group of properties. Collection of all the collection we can keep into the curly bracket. When we are calling this class and we can access the class members, all the class members should be available inside this curly bracket, guys. Now, if we can come here, so what is a class? Here we can define properties, right? We can define properties and we can define the methods. Remember carefully, we can create a class with only properties accepted. We can create a class with only methods valid. We can create a class with the properties and methods also valid thing, guys. This is a class, right? So let me show you how can we define the properties, nothing but variables, and methods are nothing but the functions I told you, right? Let me create a new class and let us see and save the file in your working directory. Go to hdocs. Let us go to your hdocs, and this is my hdocs. Sorry, go to hdocs of your exam. So here we have to create one folder now. Let me create one folder for this. So what I want to do, this is make it as a CI3. I'm making this as a CI3 is my folder name. Inside this CI3, I just want to save the files, guys. This is simply I'm writing something called welcome.php. This is my file. Okay, right. So you can give any name of the class. Class name could be anything now. I already told you the name of the class could be anything. So how can I create a class? By using the syntax class keyword and name of the class. What is the file name? You can take the same, or else you can take some other thing also, guys. No problem at all, right? So class name, you can take any class, whatever the class it may be, class and class name, right? So my class name, simply I'm taking test. My name of the class is test. You can take anything. I use a capital T here. You want to make all small letters, you can use all small letters, no problem, right? So generally, guys, one rule I will tell you in PHP, how can we declare variables? And while declaring the variables, what are the rules and regulations we are following? The same rules and regulations you can give for the name of the class. So we know that name of the class should not start with special characters like except underscore. You cannot use any of the special character there. And you cannot use any numbers. A class name should not start with a number. Class name may contain number, but it should not start with a number. Such a kind of names we can provide there, guys, right? Here, class, and the name of the class is going to be something like this, guys, class test. So the variables, nothing but the properties. How can we define the properties? By using access specifiers. You may heard about this access specifiers. Remember carefully, SPECIFIERS, access specifiers. What are the access specifiers we have? You know, we have public, and we have one more thing called private, and we have one more thing called protected. These are the access specifiers we have. I will talk about later about these access specifiers in a separate session so that you will get
Hello, sir.
so, right.
Now only start, sir, class.
Yes, guys, class test. So to declare the variables or to declare the class methods, we have to use any one of the access specifier. So what is the meaning of access specifier? I will talk about later, guys. Just let me mention here. So this is access specifiers we have. So protected and private and public. So to define the variable, for example, if it is a normal variable that x equal to 100, this is how we can define that. But inside a class, we have to use either public or protected or private. If you are not using public, it is going to give you an error. Remember carefully. This is going to give you public, public, one more variable I'm taking, name equal to, let us take something called PHP. I'm taking something called PHP. This is the name, some variable, whatever it may be, the name of the variable like this. If it is a normally, if it is outside of a class, we don't want to use public. See, when can I use public, guys? This is within the class only. You don't want to use outside of a class. So outside of a class, it is going to be normal x, normal y. So if it is outside, we can define the variables like this, outside of a class, x equal to 100. But if it is, you cannot use public access specifier here. Public is not going to be added here. You cannot use public access specifier here. It is going to be error. But when can you add public, private, protected? If it is inside a class, then only we can use public, protected, private access specifiers. So these access specifiers are inside the class only. Right? Let me add one more method here. Let me add function. Let me add something called add function. So I'm just going to write a message. Echo. This is add function. Echo. This is an add function. Simply I'm writing a message. See how many members are there in the class. Can you able to identify? This class contains 3 members, guys. How many members are there? There are 3 members. X, name, and add are the 3 members. Function is also a member. Variable is also a member. This class contains 3 members. Class members are X, name, and add. The class members. A class. See, for this function, I'm not using any access specifier like public protect. By default, it is public, guys. Public function. By default, is public function. Even if you didn't mention also, this is public. Function is by default public. If you want, you can mention, always you can mention public function add. It's a good practice. Always it is going to be a good practice for you, and we can use something like this also, guys. Okay, done. So this is my class, right? So now if I refresh this page, where is my file, guys? My file was saved in the following location, guys. Okay, let me give you the location. This is the file location. I saved this into CI3 folder, and this is going to be welcome.php. Now what I need to do, open the browser window and let me run the file. So I have to run my server. My server is running already. Right, so here we have to go localhost, right? Localhost slash ci3. This is my file name, ci3 slash welcome.php. Can you go and refresh the page? Are you getting any output? No, you are not at all getting any output, guys. Why you are not getting any output? I don't know. See, can you see here? You already written an echo statement, na? So echo, this is the add function, something you written. But why I'm not getting output? You are echoing, na? Remember carefully. This echo statement was inside a function. Where is this function? This function was inside a class. Remember, right? Where is this echo statement? This echo statement was inside a function. This function was inside a class. So one question for me. How can we access class members without so I directly executed, guys. I executed my file. I'm not getting any output at all because you written one output statement there, echo, this is an add function something, but I'm not getting any output on the screen. Why you are not getting? So here my question, how can we access the class members? What are the class members here? X, name, add is a function, X and Y are the properties, guys. So these are the things, right? So now my question is here, how can we add the class members? That's my question, right? How can we add the class members, guys? Here, if you want to add the class members, what should I do, right? So definitely, guys, anybody have idea how can we access the class members? By creating object. So now onwards, object oriented programming language will be start, right? Here a lot of questions we have to answer, guys. Just now in this session, what we discussed, what is a class, right? How can we create a class? What a class can contain? How can we provide the name of a class? Based on the environment, we can give the name to the class, right? What a class can contain? How can we define the class members, right? Class members are X, name, and add function. By default, we are using access specifier public. If it is inside a class, we have to use access specifier. If it is outside of a class, simply we can write the variable without any access specifier, $c equal to 200. Here, if you are writing public, it is going to give you a syntax error. Now, if I refresh, there is a syntax error on line number 13. Why line number 13? Public, you cannot, unexpected public. See, public, protect, and private. If you have any class, inside the class only, we can use public, private, protected. Outside of a class and use, oh, we cannot use outside of a class. That's you have to remember forever. Okay, this is very, very important thing, guys. What exactly a class is? This is a class. What a class can contain? Some collection of methods and properties. What is a method, guys? Tell me, please. What a method will do, what a property will do. So these are the two properties, and this is the method we have. Add is a method, and X and name are the properties. Tell me, please, one thing. I told you in the description, what is a class generally? A class is a collection of students. I told you something like this in its very general meaning. So in our real life meaning, what is a class? I told you, class is a collection of students and chairs and others. By grouping all together, we can call it as a classroom. Yes or not, right? Classroom. Tell me one thing, please. Here is also a class, na? Right? A class is a properties and methods. By grouping properties and methods, we can call it as a class. Yes or not, right? We can call it as a class. But tell me one thing, guys. What a property will do, what a method will do inside a class. Method will always implement some functionality. What a property will do then? What a property will do. But one thing I want to ask you a question, guys. In a classroom, normally, general meaning, in a classroom, we have chairs and we have students. Guys, I'm asking you one question. Please be patient and listen this question carefully. A class contains students and chairs. I'm asking the question. Students are using chairs, yes or not? Right? Students are using chairs or not? Yes, students are using chairs. Or one more question. Chairs are using students, huh? Chairs are using students, huh? Or students are using chairs, huh? Tell me please. Right? Chair are using you or you are using the chairs, huh? So generally we are using the chairs because we are the students. We are using the chairs wherever you want, how do you want, how can you use you want? Yes, you can use the chair. But chairs are not using you. Remember carefully. I mean, what I want to say, chairs are properties and students are the methods. I mean, method means each and every student having same behavior. Huh? No, right? Different students having different behavior. Definitely, right? So that's why I'm saying you, students are methods. Chairs are properties. Why? Because properties are fixed. Chair is having any behavior. Huh? Chair is having any taste and all anything. Right? Nothing, right? So this is what exactly the chairs and uh, students, guys. Chairs are always used by the students, not by the chairs. Remember carefully. As a student, you are using the chair. You are using the chair as a student. Chairs are not using you. That's very important. I mean, what I want to say, sometimes this method execution, so this method is executing some logic now. Sometimes this method execution may depends upon the properties also. I mean, you are in the classroom, you want to sit into the classroom, definitely who will help you, guys? Chair needs to help you to sit into the classroom, yes or not? If the chair is not there, where will you sit? You will sit on the floor, huh? You will stand up, huh? Remember carefully how a chair and student related together in a classroom. In the same manner, properties and methods are related together. Sometimes the method execution may depends upon the properties. I want to say the behavior of a class will depends upon the methods. The state of a class will depends upon the properties, guys. State means the execution of a class sometimes depends upon the properties. If the property is not there, the class, the method may not be executed some situations. Remember carefully, if the chairs are not there in a classroom, where do you sit? Right, where do you sit, guys? If the chairs are not there, you have to sit on the floor, yes or not, right? So this is what exactly. So we have chairs. The chairs are used by the students. The same manner in my class, we have some properties. These properties are always used within the method execution. Remember, that is how they're related together. Sometimes method may execute independently without on depending on anybody. Sometimes a method may be executed by depending upon the properties of a class, guys. If these two properties are not there, how they will be executed? Sometimes I'm not talking about every time. In some situations, the class properties will always define the class execution also, guys. So I mean, this method, this time this method is not depending on anybody. This is working independently, this is also working independently. So they are not depending on anybody. So properties are different and methods are different, but sometimes the method execution may depends upon the properties also. If properties are not there, method may not be executed. In the same manner, if the chairs are not there in the class, where do you sit? If a board, blackboard or whiteboard is not there in the class, how you will teach the lesson? Right? So now we are in the session. If the Zoom meeting is not there, how we can interact together? Yes or not, right? So this is all about, guys. You have to think practically. Don't go with the technically. You cannot understand if you are going with the technically. What is a class? If you want to understand, don't try to go technically. Try to go very normal, very general way. So simply saying classroom and students and chairs, properties, methods, and class. Simple thing, guys. If you can understand how students and chairs related together in the same manner in our class, properties and methods are going to be related together. So if you can understand this theory, yes, you will definitely got a good clarity what exactly a class is and all. Now the only thing we are missing here, we are executing the file. I'm executing the welcome.php, but I'm not getting the output. For this, what we need to do? That's the question we have to check, guys. Okay, that I will cover in the next session. Don't worry. So, guys, initially I will take the session. We are in the very starting, right? I will take the session up to half an hour or 40 minutes only. Don't worry. But once these demo sessions completed, we can make the session time increased, guys. Okay, don't worry about it.